Hi everyone, and welcome to the Part 7 on AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner series. So, without further ado, let's get straight to the questions. So, the question number one is that which AWS service is a key value database that provides sub-millisecond latency on a large scale? So, the key value database is basically a no SQL database, and another type of database is basically the relational database. So here we are talking about a non-relational, no SQL key value database. And the options are: option A is Amazon DynamoDB, option B is Amazon Neptune, option C is Amazon Document DB, and option D is Amazon Aurora. And the correct option is the Amazon DynamoDB. So Amazon DynamoDB is basically a fully managed serverless key value no SQL database that runs high performance application at any scale with built-in security. And let me further clarify it through this visual. So here the Amazon DynamoDB, it is a fast, flexible, no SQL database service, and it has these features. It provides such as the encryption at rest, global tables, point-in-time recovery, on-demand capacity mode. So on a large scale, this goes to this, that it provides on-demand capacity mode and with low latency. It has the built-in security, that is it provides the encryption at rest, and it is no SQL workbench. So remember that there are many questions on the Amazon DynamoDB, or specifically or in general are the Amazon database services. So remember these things, that the DynamoDB is a no SQL non-relational database, and it provides these features. It is a key value database, and then you will be able to answer any question on the AWS Cloud Practitioner exam uh, related to the Amazon DynamoDB. There is another Amazon database service that is known as RDS, or Relational Database Service. So this is RDS is relational, while the DynamoDB is non-relational. Question number two is that which AWS service or features provide disaster recovery solutions for Amazon EC2 instances? And we have to choose two options. And the options are A, AWS Shield, B, Amazon God Duty, C, EC2 Amazon Machine Images, AMIs, and D, Amazon Elastic Block Store, Amazon EBS Snapshots. And the correct option is Amazon EC2 Amazon Machine Images and Amazon Elastic Block Store EBS Snapshot. So what are these? The Amazon EC2 Amazon Machine Images are used to create backups of EC2 instances, and they can be used to launch replacement instances in the event of a disaster or data loss. AMIs are essential for creating recovery points for your EC2 instances. And the Amazon Elastic Block Store snapshots allows you to create point-in-time backups of your EBS volumes. These snapshots can be used to restore data or create new EBS volumes, making them a key component of disaster recovery for EC2 instances. Question number three is that which AWS service provides command line to access AWS tools? Keyword is the command line and resources directly from a web browser. And the options are: option A, AWS Cloud Shell, option B, AWS Cloud HSN, option C, AWS Cloud Map, and option D, Amazon Workspaces. And the correct option is the AWS Cloud Shell provides the CLI, or command line option, inside or from a browser. And this is just a snapshot of this Amazon or AWS Cloud Shell. Here we can see the command line from within a browser. Here we can see that a command is run AWS S3 LS. So this is the Amazon Cloud Shell is basically a command line interface that can be accessed from within a browser. Question number 4 is that a network engineer needs to build a hybrid cloud architecture connecting on-premises network to the AWS cloud using AWS Direct Connect. The company has a few VPCs in a single AWS region and expects to increase the number of VPCs to hundreds over time. Which AWS service or feature should the engineer use to simplify and scale this connectivity as the VPC increase in number? And the options are, so here the keywords are that the company wants to connect its on-premise network to the AWS cloud using the Amazon Direct Connect, AWS Direct Connect. And so there are multiple networks, virtual private clouds that can be connected currently, as well as their number may be increased in the future. So what is the best option? And the options are A, AWS Transit Gateway, B, VPC Endpoint, C, Amazon Route 53, and D, AWS Secrets Manager. And the correct option is AWS Transit Gateway. And AWS Transit Gateway basically connects your Amazon Virtual Private Clouds or VPCs and your on-premises networks through a central hub. This connection simplifies your network and puts an end to complex peering relationship. And this is a visual of, let me clear this clutter. So this is a visual of this AWS Transit Gateway. Here we can say that this connects the customer gateway as well as the Amazon VPC. So here the question is asking that if a customer, let's suppose this is the customer and this is the customer. Let's suppose we have a switch. So the customer wants to connect to the AWS through Amazon Direct Connect Gateway, and the customer will be using many VPCs. So what is the best option? So the best option is the use of Amazon Transit Gateway. It routes all traffic to and from each VPN or thousands of VPCs. So here we can see that the question is asking about increasing number of VPC. So it provides support for thousands of VPC with one place to manage and monitor. Also, the AWS Transit Gateway, it is basically the correct way or the correct option to connect customer network through direct connect to Amazon VPCs. So the customer will be basically connected this way to his or her VPCs, virtual private clouds. Question number 5 is that a company wants to assess its operational readiness. It also wants to identify and mitigate any operational risks ahead of a new product launch. Which AWS support plan offers guidance and support for this kind of event at no additional charge? The options are option A, AWS Enterprise Support. Option B, AWS Basic Support. Option C, AWS Developer Support. And option D, AWS Business Support. And the correct option is Amazon or AWS Enterprise Support. And these are some of the features of the AWS Enterprise Support, that it provides proactive guidance that we are talking here about. If the company want to identify and mitigate any operational risk, then it can be done through this support, because it provides proactive guidance, personalized insights, and cost optimizations. So the correct option is AWS Enterprise Support. Question number 6 is that which AWS service or feature can be used to create a private connection between an on-premises net workload and an AWS cloud workload? So if you want to connect workload from within your local on-premise network and direct it to the Amazon AWS cloud, which option can be used, which service or which feature of AWS? And the options are A, Amazon Message, B, AWS Direct Connect, C, AWS Private Link, and D, Amazon Route 53. And the correct option is, as we studied in the earlier question, that Amazon Direct Connect basically provides the way by which the user on-premise network or workload can be connected to the AWS workload. And it is basically a cloud service that links your network directly to AWS to deliver consistent low latency performance. And again, this is a visual of this AWS Direct Connect. So this is the customer network, customer local network inside the organization. This is the customer uh, gateway or the customer firewall at the edge of the network that connect to the outside world. And so if the customer wants to connect their workload to the Amazon workload or to the Amazon AWS cloud service, then it can be done through this AWS Direct Connect. And there are multiple ways through which this can be done using the IPsec VPN or the VLAN tagging 802.1q VLAN. So the AWS Direct Connect, it is basically the feature or the service that allows the customer network connectivity with the AWS services. Question number 7 is that which AWS service is used to provide encryption for Amazon EBS? And the options are A, AWS Systems Manage, B, AWS KMS, C, AWS Certificate Manager, and D, AWS Configure. And the correct option is AWS KMS or AWS Key Management System. And this is basically the AWS KMS. It creates and controls the cryptographic keys that can be used to protect your data or encrypt your data. And these are the features that are provided that can be used using the KMS, such as you can encrypt your data, which is basically the question in subject. And then we can use the digital signature and verification for authenticity. We can generate and export the keys and so on and so forth. And then these features can be used to encrypt data in EC2, Amazon S3 storage, or in EBS. So the Amazon KMS is basically the feature that can be used to create cryptographic or encryption keys, and then these keys can be used by the customer to encrypt data inside the Amazon storage or the EBS volumes or the Amazon EC2 instances. Question number 8 is that a company wants to manage its AWS cloud resources through a web interface. Which AWS service will meet this requirement? And the options are A, AWS CLI, B, AWS Management Console, C, AWS SDK, and D, AWS Cloud 9. And the correct option is AWS Management Console. So the Management Console basically provides us a web interface such like that, and it can be used to manage the AWS services or resources. So this is basically the Management Console. Question number 9 is that which AWS cloud benefit is shown by an architecture's ability to withstand failures with minimal downtime? And the options are option A, elasticity, option B, scalability, option C, agility, and option D, high availability. And the correct option is high availability. So the failures or minimal downtime is The high is ensured through the high availability feature. And how is this ensured? So this is an example of Amazon Cloud. So here the high availability is ensured through first through multiple regions. So here we have two regions. In case there is some issue or disaster at one region, then the traffic can be routed to the secondary region. And then within region, then we have multiple availability zones. So if there is issue with unavailability zone, then the traffic can be routed to the next availability zone. And further inside the availability zone, we have multiple data center. So if within availability one data center is down, then the services can be extended through the secondary data center. And again, further going to the application level or to the server level, we have then multiple clusters of servers and application. If one server goes down, then the user does not feel or user don't experience any time of downtime. The services are shifted to the next server and so on and so forth. So there are multiple level of high availability and redundancy inside the AWS, going from the geographical region such as the region all the way up to the individual instances, servers and application. And these all comes under the high availability feature. Question number 10 is that a developer needs to maintain a development environment infrastructure and a production environment infrastructure in a repeatable fashion. Which AWS service should the developer use to meet these requirements? And the options are A. Amazon Cloud Formation, B. AWS IoT Device Defender, C. AWS Shield, and D. AWS Ground Station. And the correct option is AWS Cloud Formation. So AWS Cloud Formation is basically an infrastructure as code service that allows you to easily model, provision, and manage AWS and third-party resources. So that's all for today. I hope you have learned something from today's video. So stay tuned for the next video and see you soon. Thank you and bye.